everyone, Comic Reviewer here. This time we're reviewing another Halloween comic review, and this one is on Tales of the Dark Multiverse, Teen Titans, The Judas Contract. Now, as you know, the Judas Contract was meant to kind of be this big event that was meant to reveal what Terra was, as well as showing that not everyone can be redeemed. Now, the thing is, when you do an adaptation of the Judas Contract, you want to make it work like the film did, or sometimes give Terra a dumb reason, much like the 2003 one. And the cover has Terra burying the Teen Titans in rubble, and the story mainly starts off how a being called Tempest is protecting the multiverse, and talking about the other potential Earths, where everything is all positive, but then there's the dark multiverse, with dark versions of Batman and other characters. Then he senses a disturbance in one of the Earths, which is meant to be based on the Judas Contract, where we see the Teen Titans taking down henchmen, presumably Metallos, and Terra saying, "Where the fuzzball, he's missing all the fun." And turns out Beast Boy turned himself to an ant and does joke around with Terra, saying, "But only because you finally admitted you want me around." And so we find out that Wally West has planned to leave, and that Dick Grayson's planned to follow his own path, not only as Robin, but to step out of Batman's shadow, and doesn't want the responsibility anymore. But then he does see something in Terra, and unlike in the 80s comics where she died, and that something else happens. So we see Dick Grayson going to Terra and talking about, being her own person and that. And again, she does take it the wrong way, much like the 2003 one, which gave her a dumb reason. And of course, Terra does take it the wrong way, and of course, Dick Grayson does try to say, "Oh, of course not. That's not what the Titans are about at all. If I'm overstepped, I'm sorry, I'll go." And so he does talk about being his own hero and that, and even, craft her own destiny, and this causes her to have second thoughts about working for Deathstroke. And of course, Terra does kind of get a bit mouthy with Deathstroke, and says, "Perfect? How am I supposed to respect the soldier who keeps calling the galactic losers?" And so he does slap Terra for crossing a line, and of course this causes Terra to go to the extreme, and goes for her full potential, which of course she manages to hold Deathstroke up, and pretty much murders him. And of course she does go for Wintergreen, Slade's friend and butler, and of course she melts off his hands, and wants the super soldier serum that created Deathstroke, and actually knows that Deathstroke kept supplies in case he ever lost his powers, and wants to amplify them, and of course ends up passed out. She thinks he's dead, and this causes Wintergreen to realise to his horror that Terra's alive, and that he realised he may have made a mistake. So of course we see Terra sensing a disturbance, and turns out Terra's become Gaia, a whole new superhero or villain. And of course Terra finally realises, Raven realises that Terra has been a traitor, and of course Terra makes quick work of them and kills them off. And she also kills off Donna, Cyborg, as well as Starfire. Now there is a scene of Starfire being mute, which I can't show. So of course, much like the Judas Contract, Terra breaks through the window, and of course Dick Grayson tries to make a quick getaway, and quickly runs into the park, where he thinks he'll blend in with the crowd. So of course Terra opens the earth, which swallows people in. And of course, Dick Grayson tries to maneuver, and just as she thinks she's about to win, is rescued quickly by Kid Flash, who says that the other Titans got killed. So of course them being the last two makes sense, and them storing enough time to have Superman come. And of course they try to talk sense to her, but it's no use. And of course they have to store enough time, and they quickly get killed off. And of course Superman shows up and tries to talk with Terra to calm her down. But of course, Terra uses the earth around her and causes a volcanic eruption. And of course, Superman says, "My God, Terra, the whole city! What did you do?" And of course, Terra's terraformed the earth and destroyed it. And of course, there will be other survivors around the city. And of course, Terra does make some kryptonite that ends up with Superman being stabbed to death, and then destabilizes the rest of the Earth, where other heroes are trying to stop it. So of course, Beast Boy shows up to talk with Terra, say, "Why did you do this? We gave you a home in that." And of course, Terra shows her true colors by burning Beast Boy and leaving Superman to die from the kryptonite, and leaving the Earth as a smoldering, burning ground, and those surviving to fear Terra. And Tempest showing us that Terra's now Queen of the Earth, and this is the story. So this version of Judas Contract isn't bad, but I feel they make Terra a bit more of a whiny character, much like the 2003 one, which they gave her a dumb reason. And the story is meant to show how powerful Terra is, and a cautionary tale about being careful of the powerful. So this issue deserves a thumbs up. Still good, and still alright. So, Comic Reviewer here, signing out.